to our cook-along with Young Lives versus Cancer. Today we are going to be making a pasta dish with lovely Kathleen, and we're going to be hearing all about her cancer story as well. So what are we going to do first then, Kathleen?
First I'm going to put the water in the pot for the pasta.
Okay.
To try and get it started.
So what pasta is it we're making today then?
The pasta's spaghetti, but the dressing to go on top would be prawn and chorizo with a little bit of spinach and like an olive oil dressing.
That sounds amazing.
Nice and light.
Tell us a little bit about your journey while we're doing this then. So what were you diagnosed with?
I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 18. So it feels like a very long time ago now, but it's still, I'm
sure it's still quite fresh though in your head.
Yeah, it does be. Because you don't realise how it's going to affect you long term. You sort of think to yourself, oh, you know, it'll be grand, but you don't realise, no. You sort of think, oh, you know, I'll get this done and I'll get through this and it'll be okay. And you do, it does be, but at the same time you do still need support about things that you didn't realise you needed.
How did you figure out that you had Hodgkin's lymphoma?
I went to my doctor. I was sick for I had like chest infections and throat infections, and then it sort of like evolved into like me having to go to the doctor, and the doctor sort of called me in and he said, you know, what is it that is wrong? And I said, I have another chest infection, and he was like, oh, okay. And then when I sort of explained like all the other symptoms as well as that, he was like, okay, just you go wait outside, and then...
I'm just going to grab you a little spatula.
Yeah.
Is that one okay?
Yes, that's perfect, thank you. And sort of once I went over to the city hospital and spent a few days there, it was sort of like explained to me what it possibly could be by someone in haematology, and they arranged a biopsy, and it happened very quickly from there.
So where was your cancer located? Was it in your...
It was sort of all over. There wasn't really, it was all through all my lymph nodes. It was it was along my spinal cord as well. So it was just a bit of a...
That's a roller coaster, especially at 18.
Yeah.
How did you feel whenever you were diagnosed with it? Like, I'm sure were you still at school or?
I was still at school, and when I was finally like given a reason for me being, you know, feeling so unwell, I was almost relieved. I feel this way as well, and numerous people I've talked to have felt this way, that I actually wasn't that mad about having cancer because I was so happy that I had answers to my questions. Yeah, I kept saying to people, oh, I'm so tired of feeling tired, and I'm so sick of feeling so sick. And when I was finally like given the diagnosis, I was just like, well, now I have sort of like a plan of action. There's something that, you know, can be done, and I can get maybe some more answers. Yeah,
very good. And so you were getting plenty of chest infections anyway?
Yeah.
And would you get like chest pain and things too?
I had really, really bad back pain.
Yeah.
To the point where like I couldn't stand up and work. I just was taking a lot of like painkillers and stuff for it, not really knowing why my back was so sore. And then it was explained that there was quite a large growth on my like spinal cord, and that's what was causing the most of the pain.
I suppose you probably felt a lot of relief whenever your chemo started.
Yeah, it was sort of like, you knew you had to do it, but you were sort of like, I do have other things to do as well. Which was like, the doctors were, I came in, I was getting my PICC line done, and at the time I was getting my formal and all was starting because I was in middle sixth in school, and they said, you know, you have to get your PICC line and stuff done. I was like, I understand that. I was like, but can I still get a spray tan done with PICC line in? And he was like, no. And like, he was just like, are you sure? And he was just like, you can't get a spray tan, like, but are you sure? And he was like, no. So I had to do a whole tan yourself, but
I'm sure you look gorgeous anyway.
Oh, I looked so sick. When you look back on it, you're sort of like, oh, I thought I looked great, and I did not. I looked so ill.
I know, there was times whenever I was recovering that I looked at photos and I thought I definitely thought I looked great in that photo, but looking at it now, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
You look so frail, don't you?
Yeah. You forget yourself. Yeah. You forget like how bad it was, and you look at yourself and it's hard to even recognise yourself.
Yeah, because that becomes your normal.
Yeah.
It becomes your normal. And so you went through chemotherapy. Did you do ABBD?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find the chemo?
It was rough. It was very I was very sick. Like I kept throwing up. I went in the first time and I was like, right, that wasn't too bad. And then by the time you went in like the second or third time, you were going, oh. And then at that point you were just,
do you know what really got me was as you're getting the chemo through the PICC line, you can like feel it come over you as you get it, and you're sitting there and you can feel it almost go into your veins, and it's almost so sickening. I almost felt dirty.
When you were getting like your PICC line flush, I could taste the flush in the back of your throat, and you always had this like taste there, and you were like, I can't even take. I took
I actually had to get a flush there on Thursday. I was going in for a CT scan, and everything just flooded back to me.
Yeah, I'd have vomited.
I very nearly did, to be honest. I nearly asked for a plastic bag. But it's interesting how that all stays with you, isn't it?
Yeah, like I remember one of the times I started taking like hard-boiled sweets like Clove Rock to like help with like the taste and the nausea.
Yeah.
But I also was still being quite sick, and Clove Rock is bright red. So when I started being sick, it was this bright red liquid that was coming up, and
that's terrifying.
It was for other people, but I knew it was Clove Rock. So like people around were like panicking, and I was just like, it's Clove Rock in between retches. So
oh my goodness.
That was one of the comical moments of like being there.
Well, do you know what? At least now you can laugh about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you weren't laughing about it at the time.
No, not at all.
You know, it's really good to look back at these experiences in hindsight and sort of take what we've learned from them and kind of bring it into our new post-cancer life, as it were.
Yeah.
So you obviously lost all your hair as well.
Yes, I did.
Was that tough?
Oh, that was horrible. I loved my hair.
Your hair got so long.
It's so long and curly, and it always was really long and curly, and I was devastated. It was one of the first questions I asked.
Same.
When I was diagnosed. I was like, am I going to lose my hair? And he said, yes, you are. And I was just like, oh, I was devastated. I was just like, no. But
it really itchy, doesn't it? So right now, what are you adding in there? Is it spinach?
Spinach. I'm adding in a little bit of spinach towards the end so it doesn't turn into mush. To try and get in a wee 5 a day.
Was there any foods in particular that you really enjoyed eating during chemo?
That I didn't enjoy?
That you did?
To be honest, I got turned off a lot of food. I didn't like meat anymore, or cheese, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, because I thought it was a great idea to have a bargain bucket before a chemotherapy session, and it ended really badly. That was the first time I threw up.
Oh, goodness me. Kathleen, that's what you, in the book of what you should not do before chemo.
I know, do not go to KFC.
Do not eat a bargain bucket.
No, definitely not.
So I bet even if you smell KFC now, you're like,
yeah,
ugh.
It's still, I mean, it's been like nearly 8 years, and still KFC's like, no, I can't do it.
Wow. And with the mental process after going through that, because I know for me, I mean, it's only been about a year for me now since I finished my treatment for the Hodgkin's lymphoma, and even now I still feel a lot of fatigue and I don't feel myself. Did it take a while for you to get back?
It did. After I had my son about a year after as well, so I sort of didn't get to like take on board what had happened when I had cancer. I had a young child and I had to look after him, and only when he was maybe like 1 or 2 did I was like, that all happened so quickly and so back to back. It must have been such a whirlwind couple of years for you then. It was.
You know, and I'm sure pregnancy as well must have been worrying for you after having gone through chemo.
It was, it was just crazy. The whole thing was like, it's like a blur.
Yeah.
So it was, and you know, I'm very lucky to have Shane. Although, you know, homeschooling has been tough, but I am very lucky to have him, and you know, he's included in all the things that I would do with like the group and stuff, although he has no idea why. He just thinks that he comes along, like we did a drama thing, and he was like, Mommy, when am I starting my drama classes again? And I'm like, son, they weren't for you, but you've had a great time.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
was there anything that really helped you during your journey, that helped you kind of get through it, like stay positive?
I think you have to sort of take a bit of humour with it. I think if you have a good sense of humour, and even if it's like a little bit dark, I think it's the best way to try and get through it. And if you're able to talk to people with like a similar sense of humour, it makes it easier. So it does. but there's really like the mentality of like you just have to get through it.
Yeah.
And you have to look after your family and stuff, because although you have cancer, I find that your family take it a lot worse than you do. Like
100%.
your dad, and I had 3 brothers, and you could see how they were all quite upset, and I'm like, it's fine, you know, we're going to be okay. It was sort of like that mentality of like, I don't have time to be sad for myself, because I have people here that are already sad, you know, for them.
So are we ready to plate up now?
Yeah.
Amazing. So we now have an amazing prawn, chorizo, there's spinach in there, there's a lovely pasta dish. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, it smells very good too, if I do say so
You are
myself.
a great cook.
Thank you.
You really are, and I have actually really enjoyed chatting to you today. It's been so nice chatting to someone who's had a very similar experience as to me, and especially at such a young age as well.
Yeah.
So thanks for being so open.
Well, thank you for having me.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.